Okay, I don't know about you, but I went a little wild with my spending and traveling this holiday season. I'm actually on a no spend month right now to recover. But aside from reining in spending, January is also the time when I like to check in on my annual budget. Yes, budgeting is something that ideally you'll be doing year round, but now is a great time to take a look at last year's budget just so that you can plan and adjust accordingly. Hey, by the way, I'm Nikita, and I know I talk about budgeting all the time, so I'm not going to go into how to create a budget. If you do need help, though, do a search here on the NerdWallet channel to find some methods that might work for you. Okay? All right, well, that said, if you do have a budget and it's up and running and you want to check in on it, the first thing to look at is how accurate your monthly allocations are. Monthly, as you're going through your budget, the goal is to make adjustments so that the budget stays consistently accurate. But right now is a good time to reevaluate any areas where you feel like you constantly have to make adjustments to your monthly estimates. Like if your power bill is consistently higher than you've allocated for, that might be worth looking into. These sorts of audits can help you find potential issues with your billing. For example, my budgeting audit is how I found out that my power company had a system glitch that meant that they just had not processed the bill payments that I'd been scheduling for like 3 billing cycles. If you have solar panels, a high bill might indicate your panels aren't producing as much. Aside from catching billing errors, you might also realize that you need to make changes to your usage habits in order to trim down your bills in the future. But power bills are just an example. The same holds true for any misestimates that you consistently find in your budget. It's also a good idea to see if making bigger monthly contributions to your outstanding debts might be feasible. Look, of course, you don't want to overextend yourself, and you do want to continue to contribute regularly to your savings accounts. I'm just saying, if you notice that you have the space monthly to pay down debts a little further, it's worth considering. This is particularly true with those toxic debt accounts that have interest rates in the upper 20% or higher. Making more than the minimum payments due monthly can help you pay less in interest over time. Review your outstanding debts and make a plan for getting them paid off. And since we're in the mindset of can we bump up contributions, now is also a great time to check in on your investments and how much you're contributing to those annually. If it's a 401k through your employer, are you contributing at least as much as your company will match? If it's a 529 plan, are you on track to meet your savings goal with it by the time the kiddo is in college? What about your IRAs and other investment accounts? Are you contributing to the accounts at the pace that you need to reach your future goals? Like if you hope to retire in 10 years, are you on track to do that with your monthly allocations? Next step is to pull bank statements for the last few months just to make sure that you're planning for all of the recurring expenses that are being charged to your accounts. Are the fee increase notice emails that you've been completely ignoring reflected in your monthly budget? Are any monthly expenses like streaming services or gym memberships no longer relevant? Don't keep paying for things that you don't need. Save the money and put it elsewhere in the budget. And keep in mind that canceling a service now doesn't mean that you have to cancel it forever and you can never get that service again. If you signed up for a streaming platform solely to watch the latest season of your favorite show and you already binged it within a weekend, there's no need to continue to pay monthly for that platform. You can cancel the membership and sign up again next year when you need it again. The beautiful thing about a lot of these types of services is that you can pay monthly and pause or cancel at any time. If you're strategic with how you schedule these, you can cut down on how many streaming services you pay for on any given month. While you're checking things for accuracy, go ahead and pull your credit reports too. You already know by now that it's a good idea to keep an eye on this regularly, but definitely at least once annually. The weekly score that you're given from Credit Karma and those other similar sites is typically a Vantage score and may be different from your FICO score that you'd get on these annual reports. Most top lenders use your FICO score when deciding to do business with you. So you want to keep an eye on this report. You'll want to review it to make sure that everything is still good and accurate. And it's also important to keep in mind that while your credit report is what provides the data for your credit score, the report doesn't contain your score. And you have multiple credit reports and scores, one from each of the 3 major bureaus, plus less known bureaus. So you'll want to check your report and your scores regularly. If you're working on building your credit score, this review can help you decide which debts to tackle most aggressively or develop a strategy for adding new, healthy credit accounts to the mix. How much of your credit limit is in use has a big impact on your credit score, so paying down those accounts first so that you're using 30% or less of your credit limit can help your score. And obviously, if anything looks wrong, you should dispute them with the relevant credit bureau. Pulling your free report is easy. Just check out annualcreditreport.com to get a copy. Remember, pulling your full credit report through the bureaus weekly is free, so be wary of sites that are asking for a fee. Once you get a handle on how your monthly bill allocations look for the year, it's time to start budgeting out any major purchases you have coming up. If you want to buy a new dishwasher or make renovations to your patio later this year, start building savings for those into the budget. Setting these funds aside in small increments now can help soften the burden on those expenses later. The same holds true if you have other kinds of big expenses that you'll need to pay for too, like a family vacation or medical procedures that will come out of pocket. And I know we just came off holiday season, but if you know it's a pricey time for you, start saving a bit from your paycheck for next season right now. Look at those expenses this year that could impact your monthly spending and start budgeting them in. The sooner, by the way, that you can do this, the better. So even if the expense is next year or in a couple of years, if you know it's happening, start saving for it. Like, I've known my kid wants to go to college on the East Coast ever since I took her on a road trip out there like 3 years ago. So I've been setting aside a tiny bit monthly for the inevitable high cost I'm gonna face moving her across the country. Not like a huge monthly sum, about $50 a month. But if she does by chance decide to go to college on the West Coast, score, I can use those funds for something else. Starting the year off with a solid financial plan is a great step in helping you reach your goals for the year. Everything worth doing starts with a plan. And in the finance world, starting with a thoughtful budgeting strategy, that's usually a smart plan. But budgeting isn't a set it and forget it task. You'll want to check up on it regularly just to make sure that you have a firm handle on money that is going in and going out, and pivot as needed. Now's as good a time as any to start building the habit though. New year, new start, right? Want to deep dive further into things to check in on while kicking off a new financial year? Do a search here on the NerdWallet YouTube channel for my financial New Year's resolutions video. We're in this together. I'll see you there.